Welcome back to game number 2 here between Team Empire and Gambit Esports in a Perfect World Masters CIS qualifiers. This is an upper bracket match, so the loser of this will not be out, but the loser of it will not make it to the winner bracket finals. The draft is extremely fast, so let me introduce my co-caster, who is once again Delta Fox with Bravo. Welcome back.
Hello. Good. That was a great game that we had last time.
It was.
Team Empire. Gambit Esports was able to get an early lead, but Team Empire was able to play well with one another once they got their items and a little bit of levels, a little bit of space. They were able to turn that game around, and with an amazing initiation on that first push on their racks in the bottom lane, they were able to sweep the game from there with no buyback on their troll. So we're gonna see what comes out for game 2. Team Empire picking up their standard Venomancer, Ancient Apparition, their Cancer lineup. Yeah. Gambit Esports with their same opening here, with their same bans actually from both teams. What do you think about that last game?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Like I think a lot of things happened that we expected just between the Nature's Prophet and the Night Stalker, and it worked out pretty well for the most part. So I don't really blame Gambit for picking the same combo up again here. But Empire just ended up playing very well themselves too. Just FN especially just being able to convert all of these situations into something that's still handleable for Team Empire versus just being a complete and total disaster when Chappie ended up dying a couple of times.
10 seconds
yeah, FN has been continuously impressing me actually with this play. I'm gonna see actually Gambit Esports banning out the Sven. I guess they felt that was their main issue in terms of how much space he was created in those team fights. So we're gonna see if Gambit opts to go with their troll pick or their Darkseer. I don't remember what they picked third, but let's see if they continue to go down their same lineup. They might not try to go with another melee carry, considering that the Venomancer is now there and he's usually good at controlling those kinds of heroes.
5 seconds
but in the meantime, while they pick, there was a lot of discussions about how to pronounce Daxak's name. I know you're talking in chat. What did chat give you?
Chat gave me Dahak.
Dahak? Okay.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Dahak, Always Wanna Fly gave me Daxak, which he might be trolling. I'm not sure, but that could be how you pronounce his name. Dahak, Daxak. I'm just gonna go with kind of a combination. Go with Daxak, and hopefully that's right. If not, then oh well. I'm sorry, sir. Please forgive poor Inglando caster.
Oh man, just making everything hard for all of us, dude. Come on.
I mean, we'll have to play how it is. I mean,
call him by his hero name.
Call him by his hero name, sure. I mean, if you want to go like really crazy, apparently Kuroki originally was supposed to be pronounced Kurokai. But that's why Toby only calls him Kuro, because in terms of to bounce that out. But now Kuroki is just whatever. I don't care. Kurokai, Kuroki, just call me the same thing, and now everyone calls him Kuroki. So it's just it's, you learn, you live, you move on, and we'll just call him by a hero name until.
Well, I've one called Kuro K God, but that's
K God. Yeah. Also true.
Yeah. Well, Sand King making an appearance after Rubik, so.
Lots of magic damage on Team Empire's side. Their team fight, again, is really strong. That's something that they kind of pride themselves on. Team Empire is really good on playing off of one another in terms of where they're going, prioritizing their team fights, their spacing, and how they can target and bring the opponents down. And so this fits in their lineup. I think this will be a support Sand King with the Ancient Apparition, right?
Could still be a 4 position or an offlaner.
Yeah, it might be offlaner. We haven't seen too many for offlated Sand Kings though nowadays.
Yeah. But I really like the rule pick against this here. One, because you have some good spells to already. Just Venomancer Ward especially can provide some issues at some point.
That's honestly the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah. And what Rubik also gives you is that free pipe essentially. With this passive, just giving everyone that extra bit of magic resistance up against Venomancer Dart, the Ancient Apparition Dart, and you also already have the Night Stalker on the field who can go for more team-oriented build with a pipe of his own, a proper pipe. So later down the line, Gambit will have ways to mitigate all of this magic damage quite a lot from Team Empire, so I think they need to have a strong carry that can transition into providing that physical damage that they're lacking so far.
True.
That'll have to
It's
come from the mid lane, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting that they picked up Team Empire picked up the Venomancer after picking up the Nature's Prophet, considering that Nature's Prophet's actually seen as a counter to the Veno in terms of being able to just mow down his wards and not really caring about it. But Gambit Esports will pick up the
10
Viper pick.
seconds remaining.
This hero is really good for their lineup for kind of the similar
5
reasons where you said
seconds
for the Rubik. He has his own innate magic resistance and is pretty good against these three heroes that they have. But Team Empire will pick up the Chaos Knight here. The wave clear is pretty weak from Gambit, and there is no Sven. Gambit banned out the Sven already. How do you feel about this Chaos Knight pick?
I didn't quite expect this one, to be honest, from Empire, because normally I believe they've run Chappie as the 1-position Venomancer whenever they picked it up. And now, of course, Venomancer himself as a hero is very flexible, so they can easily run him in mid instead or something like that.
Could go offlane as well.
Yeah. Like, I think the CK gives them the physical damage that they need, and if he gets going, he'll be able to just delete everybody inside of Gambit.
True. One heart, and I don't think they can take him down. And it's very difficult. He has ways to get out of the NP route. He's pretty tanky to survive with the first couple of ganks out of Night Stalker. He's pretty self-sufficient, and of course we forgot to mention what has become the old classic combo, kind of the flavor of the month with the CK Ancient Apparition, with that cold feed and the Reality Rift to hold him down, which we've seen a lot of teams use recently. So strong in lane, and Team Empire will finish off their pick with a Timber Saw.
Also pretty strong against Nature's Prophet in particular.
Yes, he's good against all the summons. He can chop down all the trees. He can tank up pretty well. I'm a little confused on terms of what they want to do and how they want to lane. I'm assuming they want to look to lane the Timber Saw against the Nature's Prophet. Is that what you think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then Terrorblade for Gambit Esports. I'm worried. I mean, I can see why they picked it, but I'm a little bit worried. For the reasons why is that all the magic damage that Team Empire have, they have good magic damage, they have good lockdown. Sure, kind of in the laning phase, if they're expecting the Timber Saw to come up against the Terrorblade in that lineup, then Terrorblade can handle a Timber Saw in the laning phase okay, but it's actually going to be a mid Timber Saw. FN is going to be going mid, and it will be an offlane Venomancer, and Miposhka will be picking up the Sand King as a support. So that's how the lineup is going to be. Big Gnome again playing the Night Stalker, Cheshire Cat going offlane. I'm going to be really interested to see how they lane this. If they're going to try to contest the Terrorblade. Do you think that they would want to contest the Terrorblade?
I don't know, it can be a bit rough, even just with the Rubik there. It's just a little bit of setup, but Terrorblade can do a crazy amount of damage even in the first couple of levels.
Yeah, that's something you have to be careful with.
Yeah, at the same time, like FN, Chappie. The thing is, I don't know if you can leave Chappie alone on the Chaos Knight. So if you want to contest, you need to do it with 3 heroes. Just ban score, just to be able to play off some sort of stun setup from Ghost Stick, or from Pushka rather, to then play into Cold Feet into Healing Touch hits. That's the only way that you can really reasonably pressure Terrorblade, not get punished, I feel like. But that would mean you leave Chappie alone up against Nature's Prophet, potentially.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward in terms of what they want to do. Both teams TPing out. Big Gnome catching out Miposhka.
Yep.
Preventing his wards.
Yeah, both of them too, so we figured out it's going to be a while until they're placed.
And he's going to put down his ward right there, a little bit off the center, but still giving about the same vision for the dire side. Gambit Esports opening up with their same blocks that they picked up. They're going to block the small camp and the easy camp. Yep. So giving up full lane control for their offlaner.
Also rather unlikely to be both dewarded, I believe.
30 seconds.
In normal
to
deward spots would be like perhaps here in the middle of the two camps, and
Yeah, both of them can be caught. They only
Yeah.
caught the sentry ward last time. So they might figure to put it in the center if they've realized both their camps not spawned.
they need to put it up here though.
Yeah, they would have
It's not the most
in
common
the
spot, I
center.
think. Yeah.
But yeah, they can reach both spots.
Bensko has a sentry,
the
so
battle
see what he
begins.
decides.
Yeah, he might figure that it's going to be the same thing,
It
but he's
is,
going to
yeah.
do the same placement. I think that I saw early in the game that they pinged out that the placement of the ward, but it was just about to die. But maybe they're just going to be not try to risk it and figure like, oh, they're going to change their ward position. But maybe when they look at the replay, Vanscore is going to kick himself if they had that discussion or not.
Yeah. Well, middle lane starts classic, Big Nim sticking around, and early on Timbersaw can still be pressured a little somewhat, even with a level 1 and reactive armor.
Yeah, but he's going to get the lane pushing on his side,
Yeah.
just a tad bit.
It's mostly gonna come down to Kuman just winning the
just
right
like
click wars, and that's the easiest thing to don't against the Timbersaw. Don't really have a lot of right click damage to work with.
No,
And bypass
I mean,
the other toxins.
yeah, the way you get advantage in this kind of lineup, either A, you have an excessive amount of lockdown and magic damage, or B, you set the tempo early, and you just kind of push him out. You just attack him early, exactly what they're doing here, and when his reactive armor stacks are really low, he doesn't have a lot of points in it, and they could just like knock him down.
Yep. Pushka actually, interestingly, being zoned out by always on the fly, who went first point up into the Fate Bolt. Very interesting, but yeah, if you have this 1v1 support matchup, it's a way to do it because it makes it really hard for the other hero to trade with that damage reduction.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny that Darkseid decided, or to Terrorblade, I'll try to not even attempt it to not offend anybody. But interesting they went for the reflection for the first point. Maybe he thought like, oh, I can harass him with the poison sting, or he thought he was going to get tri-laned against. Not sure. No, you see that early point in the metamorphosis, so they can secure early CS and
Yeah,
maybe some kill potential.
that's a bit odd, but yeah. Meanwhile, mid though, FN already
staying in
level
pretty deep
3.
here.
Yeah, I mean, he has level 2 reactive armor at this point, so that's where it becomes extremely hard already.
Yeah, and he's not actually getting denied too much farm. He's 11 and 0. I mean, Kuman is coming a little bit ahead, 17 and 2. But by no means is he falling completely behind just yet.
We'll see how much he can do with what he gets here. Same time, Viper obviously he's still king of this lane. He's getting all the CS that he wants for the most part.
Yeah, he's totally happy.
Yeah, but I don't know if Bignum should stick around here any longer. He's already reached level 3. That's his minimum level of effectiveness. Found himself in this rune. With that, he can maybe try and find somewhere else to soak a little bit, or maybe even run into Bushka, who went to mid for smoke up.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he didn't try to maybe make an earlier rotation on the top lane, considering how long he spent 3 minutes. Mid lane, he was able to get level 3, so he's not too far behind. He's on that kind of level per minute mark.
Bushka up top,
He's trying
might be in
to block it
trouble,
up.
bit of a slow. TP in as well from Cheshire Cat. This should be the quick first blood, that hack. Taking that for himself. So pretty good.
Yeah.
What
I figured
rotation?
that would have been the easier killing him.
Yeah.
A little surprised that they didn't make that rotation early, but they do, and they get that kill, and they set themselves up ahead.
Smoke from Bushka, he ended up just placing the wards that he held onto for so long. One up here in the top lane, one mid to keep an eye on Viper and any sort of other rotations.
It's going to be important to protect Ghostic in this top lane. You don't want him to fall too far behind. He kind of prevents them from diving him. Getting good levels on him to whittle people down with his magic damage will be important.
Yep. So, I think about his bottom lane because Chappie, especially with rotation there from Cheshire Cat, he's not made his way back to the bottom lane, instead just straight up goes jungling.
Radiant are scanning.
How quickly do you expect this Chaos Knight to be a part of the action?
Probably. I mean, he's gonna have to wait until at least his armlet until then, and probably if he decides Echo Saber, but he's going to go for Midas first. He is free farming, so I don't blame him for going for that. They also feel that perhaps he's going to need to be able to keep up and farm against the Terrorblade. Ghostic getting a little bit of a trouble here.
Also on fire, that's not up to the drag back though.
Yeah,
Well made up, and he might be actually be in trouble. Picknam trying to nuke him down. He's very low on health, and yeah, reactive armor, no. Might be brought down.
No points in Timber Chain. That's always one of the criticisms against a Timbersaw mid, is that you don't have a lot of trees that you can play around with. Maybe that's why he thought that might maybe not get it, but you do have enough trees that you can make that escape. Yes, I guess he opted to go a little bit greedier and able to farm and harass Kuman. But yeah, he gets punished for not having his escape. Another kill going for Gambit.
Top lane being kept safe by the ward. Bignum, he was looking to make the follow-up play if always on the fly got a lift off, but he was scattered out by the observer ward, so Empire knew exactly what was going on. You can get another kill on FN in mid. Kuman is just chipping away at him, and Bignum, yeah, he's pretty damn fast, extra slow, right clicks are there, Nether Toxin doing quite a bit of work now. Pushka turning one with a stun, Cold Feet will not quite proc though. Kuman will be just fine. Bignum is walking straight through, of course. Cheshire Cat also making an appearance. A little bit too hard for these two supports to go on. Viposhka just sitting in the safety of a sandstorm.
Yeah. One thing that I actually just now noticed is that Kuman opted to go for the Nether Toxin. Not something that you usually see. Normally you see people opt to go for the Corrosive Skin if they're going against a more magically heavy mid lane, or if they're going against more melee. As Kuman might be in a little bit of trouble here from Viposhka, but no, he's gonna be fine.
He has no damage.
If they want to harass with their poison attack, but he knows that either one is not going to serve well against Timbersaw, so he's going to go for that more physical damage build with that Nether Toxin, getting more and more damage off as the lower that Timbersaw gets.
Yep.
And Timbersaw does like to flirt around with his HP a little bit, at least in terms of the laning phase, so I don't think if he went any other skill build he would have gotten that, so well played.
Yep. Bignum constantly being scattered out. Viposhka here did have this invis. It's about time out though. Let's be a bit careful.
Doesn't seem just yet. He's playing with the trees pretty well.
So interesting to see. Like how they're so close, yet can't see each other.
And now he's going to counter it out. He saw the ward. He's seeing that Bignum is going top.
Ghostic might be in trouble. Silence up, slowed down. Extra slows, extra follow-up there from always on the fly. They will find the Venom Arts eventually, but he does get a spell off. Near Chappy made rotation, dragging back Dahak. And now a lot of damage here with the minus armor of Inferno as well. Good burst strike too. Prevent any sort of any sort of thunder play. Sorry. Yeah, good rotation, but you give up some space for Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, he's gonna take it all day. But Ghostic is gonna rotate down bottom after he revives, and he's gonna be able to keep off Chester Cat away from this tower. Level 2 Gale. Wards are not that high level, but just able to take down the treants if they decide to push. But good rotation from Chappy, making his presence known.
Yeah. Kind of strength of the Tower Blades. And if you really want to, you can join on early on, and if you have some levels, you can do this kind of thing. Drag him back with a minus armor, stun, a couple of right clicks. Always on the fly is actually in a lot of trouble here, and he will fall. Oh, like the only limiting factor is the mana at that point.
Yeah, that's why you gotta pick up those mangoes. FN is playing.
Yeah, playing with fire, gets gone now by Bignum. Silence not lasting for too long, as it is daytime, but we're trying to bring down 20 stacks of reactor armor though. At this point, it's getting extremely hard to just touch him with the only right clicks. And TP out.
Yeah, well played there from FN, using that cliff to TP him, to Timber Train and TP out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the tier 1 tower was taken.
Yeah.
Does not look like there's going to be a response play. They actually are able to deny the tower. FN was, I guess, able to cut the creep waves enough for his creeps to force that tower pretty low. So I guess this, even though that Gambit was able to take the tower bottom, I think this favors Empire just a little bit more. Gives them map control.
Yes.
Gives them a little bit more map control.
So Towerblade just farming up that hard camp a little bit as well, so he's just getting some extra CS under his belt. try and catch up with Chaos Knight. The Midas not quite going just yet, but he will have it soon. But even without it, it's in 4.2k net worth, even above the Viper. 2 kills to the name of both of these heroes, so that certainly helps.
Yeah. I feel the Terrorblade might have a maybe 1 or 2 items he's gonna have an easier time. The Timbersaw is kind of his only worry. He doesn't really care about Van Scores' Ice Blast because it's not a regeneration, it's an HP swap. So even if he's at right at shadow range and he uses a Sunder, he will gain all that HP back. It's not affected by the Ice Blast.
Yeah. Just needs to get the Sunder off, right? I mean,
yeah, he will. The stuns, I only have 1 or 2 stuns, so he can do it. Maybe BKB is coasting. It's in a little bit of trouble bottom lane.
Oh, taking a miss as well. Turns out Ghost gets some help, so Darkseid just trying to TP out, and will be able to. No more stuns, as he said, this time around. It did give him the ability to just extricate himself.
Yeah, there aren't too many stuns on the side of Team Empire. They do have a lot of some burst damage and ways to bring Terrorblade down, but they have to do it in the not really amount of stuns that they have, not the high amount of stuns that they have. I feel that once Terrorblade gets BKB, the game will get a little bit more difficult. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. But they're gonna make a play on Kumin, pull him in, stun.
He has Mechrosa's skin now, so the easiest one to bring down. They channel, or the channel stuns they have, but it doesn't really care. Don't quite carry dust for me Pushka. Now the Ice Blast will actually connect with Kumin. Not level 1, so all this will do is actually just stand him back and make sure that he can't be aggressive. You should really carry sentries for this Sand King. It's a free kill right there. Stands. You get away with it. Bottom lane is being pressured. Top lane as well, so. Oh, okay. Actually can't change the apparition up in the high ground. Night Stalker.
Lies in the ultimate time. No ulti on Miposhka just yet.
Right. So, who has the edge so far in this game?
I mean, just by net worth, Gambit does. They're pressing their lead. Viper is gonna be. It seems to be a little bit of a problem here. They don't really have ways to take him down, and Kumin can kind of take over the game on his own. They're gonna take down their 3rd tier 1 tower as they're trying to trade for bottom. Maybe they're trying to go on Terrorblade, but
he's going in.
Darkseid.
It's not have the sun available. Does have 17 trick charges. Get him there if he needs to. Now FN kind of locked into the trees for a little bit. Nice stun there coming through, and FN will just straight up be killed. And also making rotation, throwing down her ultimate for good measure. So, good rotation. Always want to fly. Dies to the walls almost, though. That poison sting, not quite enough to bring him down.
No, it's still level 1, though, right? Yeah, still level 1.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Calculated. Calculated. That's why you go to school, drag and drop. So you can do the math.
Yeah, I've not been in school for a long time, dude.
But that's why you go to school in the first place.
Yeah.
So you can get learned.
I can get learned and then forget everything about math. Don't know how to do derivations anymore, it's so sad.
Oh, I'm just talking about math in general. Don't talk about anything else. But Poshka, can you get out of here?
Yeah.
He did the math.
He just pressed the button as soon as he got gone on, so like.
But he knew. Because he did the math. Stay in school, kids.
I'm sure
and
you
won't die in Dota.
Alright, top lane, gonna be pressured here. They're gonna take the last remaining tier 1 tower for the Dire side. They're keeping gold close to their chests here as far as the difference is concerned. But now look at this Gambit. They're playing a Gambit right here. Going for Roshan.
Yeah, they're going for this Roshan. There's a little bit of vision on the Radiant side, but they don't have any on the Roshan pit itself.
They know though. Ice Blast come through. The smoked up Ghost Stick. Unit charge. He does have the ultimate available. Cannot afford. Oh god, Shashika is actually so low. Can not really get out of the slow, so you will end up taking out here eventually. There it is. Ghost Stick with a pretty good Venomancer ultimate. The stun there onto Dahak. Again, cannot get the stun to Earth because of it. And on the back, Bignum isolated from the rest of his team, trying to fight up against Chaos now. It's just not going to happen. Also on the flying Kuma, and is still coming in to maybe try and salvage this. And Ghostig will be the casualty. Kuman actually with a double kill. Maybe they can find more actually. It's on advance going to be Pushka. Now finally Chappie comes in with his own ultimate. Pop the armlet here to get that extra health on the illusions. And yeah, he's getting...
Oi.
Yeah, there's some big crits right there in the end. Cleans up the rest of Gambit. Now they're all gonna shrine up. Oh, it's gonna feel so good.
Feels so good. It's always the best feeling. You take a team fight and your whole team goes shrine. You just feel so nice. But that was really well played. They were able to pincer Gambit on both sides of the Roche pit, catching out to Nature's Papa. Nature's Papa was not able to get his ultimate off, which would have provided huge amounts of damage, maybe even taking out Chappie, because he was pretty low and it was armlet toggling just a tiny bit. But Chappie making the decision to come up and finish that fight, otherwise Kuman would have cleaned up the both supports. So good on trusting your teammates and fighting there.
Yep.
Empire equalizing that kill deficit that they had before. Think that Gambit might not want to continue to try to go for that Roche anymore.
Without getting a kill or two before that. I mean, Bigman has a DD rune, can help to some extent here up against FN. Doesn't have all of the reactive armor stacks up just yet. The silence comes out after the initial timber chain though, so gonna take some time, and now reactions are there. Ghostig, everyone else TPing in too, so FN will be saved. Now looking for more in return. Always on fly, actually. Yeah, he's dead. Noble sacrifice.
Yeah.
After
Well, they might not have a lot of stun, but they do have a lot of catch.
Yeah.
Dire are scanning.
Right,
Radiant
so
middle tower
where do we
is
go
under
from here? Towerblade doesn't really have a lot of money. I think that's something that they have to fix. It's only 60 minutes in, but it's gonna get worse and worse unless he finds some kills or finds some free farm.
Yeah,
Because
he's
Chaos
not
Knight has that smite is going.
Yeah, he's not too far behind, but it's definitely not where he wants to be in terms of fighting condition. Chaos Knight is definitely eclipsing him on net worth by a good amount. Wow, Chappie, I didn't even look at this. Through almost 2k head, or a little bit over 2k head over the Terrorblade. Playing pretty well. I think that just Empire is getting their items that they need to fight. FN has picked up his Bloodstone, so he's training pretty well. Kuman has a Yasha and Dragonlance, so he's doing okay. He's able to fight. Night Stalker doesn't really have much in terms of being able to fight. You know, if he's thinking about getting a hood or a pipe, he hasn't started on that yet. Rubik is just kind of Brown Boots and Wards and Dust and Wand, so he's not anywhere. He's pretty much on the same level as Vanscore in terms of his effectiveness and items. But the Blink Dagger is done for Miposhka. Looks like they might be baiting out bottom. So right now, Empire is looking a little bit stronger in terms of their team fight capability with their items. I don't know where they go from here. Like, what do you think is the next step for both teams?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't really think that Empire can go for Roche themselves. They don't really have a lot of minus armor, and Chaos Knight not the best here against it, obviously, because he's an illusion carry.
Yeah, I agree.
They're just biding their time, just trying to get the next round of items. Vulcan Prod, it's trying to establish some map control. I think that's a big one. They have some more or less defensive wards here around the river. We can smoke up and we go towards the dire side jungle, set up some more aggressive ones, try and catch out the Terrorblade again a couple of times. We'll serve them well.
2 minutes until nighttime.
Go for chance to get down bottom. Find drag back, 4 seconds stun. Well, Sprout will prevent the right clicks for a moment, but not long enough.
Yeah. Affirmative, sir. You are dead.
Yeah, these kind of things, I think that's what Empire is just looking for by the time.
Yeah, just buy their time, get a little bit more items. Ghostic has finished before staff, so his survivability and his team fight increases.
Also, Fly might be dead here. Boschka showing himself, I understand. Gets a lift up, but, well, there's so much he can do.
Alright, those Bloodstone charges are starting to roll in for FN. He's gonna start on his Lotus Orb. That's his next item of choice. Ghostic? He's okay.
Yeah. I think this Night Stalk hasn't been as effective as he really needed to be. 0, 2, and 6 assists.
0, 2, and 6, yeah. I mean, There are not a lot of kills to speak of in this game. Both teams have been, I mean, they try to get things done, but they've kind of been playing off their ultimates and generally avoiding each other and only going for pickoffs. Both teams have ways to stall out fights and prevent damage to come into them. So I guess it's a little bit difficult, and both teams just want to get their items. At least I know on Terrorblade, like, he's working on that Manta style. He almost has it, about 300 gold. So maybe they wait for that to make their play, or they wait until nighttime to make a smoke play and then go for nighttime. Not sure.
10 seconds away, so it should line up decently well, but at the same time, well, the Manta style already completed on the Dragon Knight. Now Chappie is just surging further and further ahead.
Oh, yeah.
No, Ice Blast.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Thunder. Ooh.
MVP dust right there from Always Wanna Fly. If he doesn't get that dust off, Terrorblade might... I don't think he would have been close to shattering, but if there was anybody else following for any damage, Team Empire would have probably taken it. But they're going to go straight in for this Roshan again.
Fly gets spotted by Vanscope, and now he's just gonna get gone on himself. Bignum slowed down by Darksack too. They want to have that secondary kill and they get it. No Ice Blast for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, no Ice Blast, no Epi. Does not appear that they want to contest this. FN does have a TP scroll, but he's not coming in just yet. This might
Chappie
just be
has no
a free
ultimate
rush
though.
for Gambit.
Chappie just uses his ultimate just to farm and push out the lane, so no extra illusion for 30 seconds either. Then being slowed down, but Bignum on the outside. Roshan not falling terribly fast now. Also on the Fly gets gone on. Sitting inside at the Shark Room here, he will end up falling. And now the drag back on Shasha Cat. He's seeping out, but that'll be cancelled. And again, a Roche attempt. Successfully contested here despite Empire not being in a perfect position. They're just taking over themselves.
They didn't even have all their heroes up either. Just the amount of instant damage that they can put onto Team Gambit, it's just enough to scare them away, and they even get 2 heroes off of it.
Yep.
Like, Team Gambit does not have instant damage. Not in any sense. They have to whittle people down with right clicks and maybe 1 or 2
Oh,
hits.
Bignum.
Bignum trying to make that play, but just feeding it.
High risk, high reward kind of thing. Oh, some Fly
Always
again.
Wanna Fly.
Oh no, he's so dead, especially if the Ice Blast hits, and it does. FN. Well, he stole the Timber Chain. Dark Room not connects, so hey, maybe he can play his way out of this one.
Action. Oh, but he shatters. No.
So close though. Level 2 Ice Blast versus level 1 Null Field. But yeah, how do you stop the Stimmer now? The question.
You don't. Like, the only way you can stop this is that you have to make a play with Cheshire Cat's Orchid before the, or maybe time out his Lotus Orb when he uses it. It's difficult. Like, he already has this Lotus Orb, so bringing him down is fairly hard. Like, he can counter out Thunder plays if he's really tricky, but it's difficult. Like, he has to be by himself and super deep. FN right now is a complete monster.
You have to figure it out fast, Chappie. Has that extra illusion from the ultimate. Also has Manta style to work with, and then there's Dahak.
Oh,
Now with this his own Q to try and slow this down a little bit. And Chaos Knight does not have the benefit of that Aegis. He has to be a bit more careful with what he's doing. Bignum coming in from the side, but well, Milbrack still under pressure. FN's right click's not really crazy. Chappie though looking for another kill. The Ice Blast will graze Bignum, so no more healing from that shrine. Chappie actually falls as Kuman, also makes a wrap around, but Ghostlick with pretty good ultimate off, so Bignum, he will end up taking out to that combo. Always on the Fly, also in the middle of that, stole the Venom ultimate, but it's not going to be nearly as effective against Stimmersaw. Now the Epi sent on 2 here. There's a Thunder available. Can you find a target here? Needs to do it on Kuman almost. Or just look at it for Miposhka just for the extra safety, and they get that too. FN will come right back. It's a long range Stimmersaw. It's being slowed down by Kuman. Should be able to walk away here. There's no hard control left. Bring him down. I was so close there in Terrorblade, but they do keep the Milrax alive in the end.
Yeah, I think they stayed just a little bit too long. Ice Blast was kind of on a hero that was running away. It's just his Night Stalker to support. Chaos Knight was just really low. He's just kind of trying to play back and forth with his illusions, but I think at that point you just kind of call it off. Maybe they thought like, oh, FN is so strong with his Aegis, we can play around that, but you know, without your Chaos Knight, like, you lose half your damage.
Yep.
But that
also
Epi,
died in the middle of that.
yeah, that Epi was huge. Almost taking out taking out the Terrorblade. And now he'll be going for BKB. I think this is the item that he needs. Once he has that, Gambit will be looking pretty good in these team fights. Like, they can turn it out pretty well.
It's not always the item that you want to go for on a Terrorblade.
It's definitely not, but he just needs to survive that first burst of initiation. Let's do his damage. Bottom lane, they take out Mikoshka.
Kuman got an Invis rune, so it's able to stalk out that Sanking, and Joshua Cat has the Orchid, putting it to use.
It's Orchid Dust, and now he's going for Shadow Blade, so trying to use their split put potential. I mean, they do have a lot of summons, a lot of illusions that you can use just to send down lanes, so they can stall out this game.
Yeah.
Until FN gets a Boots of Travel, they do have to kind of play towards the where their group waves are. They can't just push willy-nilly down the lane unless they have some good pickoffs. What is the next steps? I mean, do you think that Gambit, like, what are they waiting for here? They have the gem on Big Gnome, so that's a good pick-off. Or a good pick-up, sorry. What's next?
Probably just waiting until the next proper nighttime, I would think. Really Glimmer Cake, maybe Shellblade on Nature's Prophet, so just he has it right now. So yeah, just waiting for the right position. Trying to catch someone off guard here, like Chappie perhaps.
Yeah, well, they are grouping up in the mid lane here. Ghost Tick has finished up his Solar Crest, so even more minus armor. It'll increase their rush potential. But I like where Chappie's doing here. I like where his mind's at. He's going for that heart immediately next. I think once he has this, he can play around these fights more aggressively, and just able to go in and out and frontline a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because once he has that, maybe even with against the BKB from Terrorblade, which is now fully completed, by the way, he can actually stand up to it.
Oh yeah.
Even after getting if he gets sundered, he can still back out and reset the fight.
I think one thing that could change the equation is always when Fly somehow gets his hands on the Ice Blast from Ancient Apparition.
That is true, but that's a difficult spell to steal, just because AA will always be in the back. And he has 2 spells that are pretty quick to cast, so it's pretty difficult to steal that ability.
Always on Fly needs something like a Blink Dagger, and that's pretty far away from him. Got the Gale though for now, so
the Gale. That's not bad.
Yeah.
What level is that Gale? Level 4 Gale. So, not too shabby against Solutions. But they might make a play against Vanscore.
He's Invis. Walking up now, Josh again. Oh no. They would not have. Oh, they had the gem anyway, so.
Yeah, they had the gem.
Easy kill, quick kill.
Yep. Always Wanna Fly got the prize money steal there. You got them Plague Wards.
Well, downside is you don't get that the poison sting, I believe. Yeah. Oh, you do.
Yeah, you get the level of poison sting.
Nice.
Hashtag, what is it, like 480 magic damage for free? Or I think it's actually half of the Plague Wards, but...
Might ultimate is knocked out, they're looking for something here in Miposhka. Well, Silence, he's the first casualty. Gets the first step up. Now FN making his way back. Kuman with preemptive BKB. They're trying to really help this out. Chappie now, okay, drag back and leaves Cheshire Cat. Dahak, now he has to fight carry, and he asks for help. He's getting them too. Ice Blast coming through. Chappie dropping low, not as fast as Dahak. He needs to find a Sunder target, and he gets it on one of the illusions, I believe. Yeah, always on the fly. Kuman, they're all dragging out. Ticking out all the damage over time. Though Pushka coming back in with a ultimate. Ugh. That's a disaster. They get Chappie, but what cost?
Oh, he's actually not going to tick out because it's not fatal.
It's not lethal, yeah. All in all there from the Rubik. And now they will be able to finish up this, finally, finish up this middle racks. Once the creeps come in, perhaps. Epic already used from Kuman though. Changes the equation a little bit.
Yeah. They're gonna be fine. They're not gonna lose, or they might suffer a little bit of building damage here, but probably not. Yeah, that fight went really well. Kuman activated his BKB pretty early in that fight before the other heroes were coming in. Maybe he saw the Chaos Knight and over the high ground and just activated his BKB, but Without his BKB, he was bursted down pretty quickly, and I think the Thunder just came out a little bit late for Terrorblade to make a huge difference in that fight. Because once FN came in, FN timed that team fight pretty well in terms of how he engaged it. He went for the backline first, and then once that BKB went down for Terrorblade, he immediately pounced on him. So well played from FN to time out that team fight there.
Yeah,
winning it for his team.
He's been playing extremely well once again. Up to 23 Bloodstone charges now. He has the Shivas to work with, that Lotus Orb that you mentioned earlier. Now his Boots of Travel queued up, so it can be wherever he needs to be. So we talked a lot about Chappie, but this Timbersaw is also a huge source of damage for Team Empire in these team fights.
Yeah, it's actually pretty ridiculous. Chappie is playing kind of that same role they did it last time, just running into that front line and letting his mid laner just kind of carry that team fight. Chappie actually, like, you know, 7 or 5 to 7, 6, 7, whatever, Manta style illusions ultimate. And so you can just kind of just run in, just be this huge, like, hey, look at me. And then in the meantime, while they're trying to deal with him, FN can just, you know, sling around and just kill everybody.
Yep.
And if they ignore Chappie, then as we saw with against Cheshire Cat, you're just gonna get deleted.
Yeah. Bit of a problem. The kind of physical damage from the CK and all of the illusions, just instantly on top of you with that drag back in the reality of it. So it's a bit of a tough puzzle there for Gambit to work out, but what they do have is the Terrorblade, so one of the strongest carriers in the game. He just needs to get to a point where he has the items to actually justify that, and he has the Butterfly queued up next that will help. But that's still
what do you think about the
away.
Butterfly on Chappie, though?
That's Illusion Hero, it's the same kind of idea, isn't it?
I guess they get the attacks, we gotta get the armor. They don't have a benefit from the damage, though, but it's not bad. No one on the side of Gambit really wants to go for an MPBS. Oh, top lane.
Yeah. Bushka tracks him down. If N was in the neighborhood, benefit and help out. Bushan's back up. He'll scout that out immediately. That'll probably be the next big fight. Gambit is sitting around there. Bignum leading the charge. Always want to fire still some walls of his own to throw out. More action here.
Fan is going deep. They actually missed the stun on Bignum.
Yeah.
Well played with that Glimmer Kick.
They're just establishing control here over this area. It's very hard for Gambit to go in. They also don't have the pushing pressure from Nature's Prophets. It's actually Dahak who has to take this over. Pressuring this bottom lane, so maybe that's all they can hope for. Get a tier 3 of their own. Open up the shrines, perhaps. Play the long game, because I don't think they should recontest this.
Yeah. Dahak has just come in already. He's backed up from that bottom lane. Forget the response speed too quick, but he does actually take down this tier 3 bottom. Pretty low, 267 health. Might set that up for a later push for Cheshire Cat. Just playing those little bits, you know? Get a little bit here, get a little bit there. See if they use that in the future as Hyperstone. Who's getting Hyperstone? Kuman. Kuman is getting the Mjolnir.
Huh.
It's a pretty common pickup for Vipers. They play kind of this, you know, don't touch me build. High amounts of magic damage. And it's good at clearing the illusions as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good against the Timbersaw, or against the Chaos Knight for clearing those illusions, like I mentioned. And also, it's when you don't have, you know, the Cherry Blade might struggle against the Timbersaw, but having more, you know, mixed magic damage with that, those lightning procs can help out.
Cheshire Cat, looking for Cheshire Cat up top. But, well, a big Ice Blast, and that'll secure the kill.
Yeah, and there it is.
Very well played.
Open up the bottom lane push.
Chappie is in the middle of that. Does not pop his ultimate just yet, actually dropping down rather low to about 2/3 of his health points. We'll be able to heal that up soon, though.
It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Having to push through these wards, but Chappie has that heart.
It is. Now pops ultimate.
Reset.
And, well, there's the counter illusions. Chappie actually dropping extremely low here. Kuman finds the right one, but Glimmer Cape will keep him safe. They have cleared through illusions, so that extra punching power from Chappie will not be there for this fight. Gambit holding on to the high ground for the time being still.
Just casual 300 health regen per second. You know, whatever.
Right.
I'm actually a little... Oh, I guess because the mid lane is pushed out. Thought they might want to make a play in that mid lane since there's no tier 3 there, but... No creeps, plague wards are annoying. Hard to push. They do scout out Dahak there, but they're not going to make a play on him.
Don't have Ghost Sick at this point. I don't think you're really committing too hard.
No lockdown, no damage.
Yeah. Gambit's still kind of locked in the base.
Also revived.
Yeah. That's a big one here. Cheshire Cat, he can be the one to farm across the rest of the map, so this containment effect from a siege like this is also mitigated to some extent. Unless they can catch some of these heroes out while they're farming here on the other side of the map, then it's Empire's not really gaining too much of an advantage. They're just standing here. Keep waiting for someone to go out and push out this bottom lane a little bit further, but Gambit just not taking that bait for now.
No, I mean, they don't see anybody else on the map, so they have to be extremely careful. They are going to look to push out this top lane, though, as Dahak has finished up that Shadow Blade fully. Or not Shadow Blade, has finished up the Butterfly, apologies.
Starting Kuman on the bottom here, they're gonna find the Ice Blast. BKB comes out, so no immediate damage. Putting that on cooldowns.
The opening that they need. They are going in this mid lane.
Happy just threatening, chipping away at the range racks a little bit. Have another ultimate in 10 seconds, still holding on to the Aegis for the time being. And now another blink stun, you have to always on the fly. The Shrine not coming up here, just straight up dies. Range rack's down already. No, Sprouts and Sprout.
Sprouts
with
on
the Lotus Orb, and actually Cheshire Cat can get caught out by that for a moment here, but it does have to be to turn things around. Chappie might end up falling here. Still has the Aegis for minutes, so don't really care too much. Mimo done botted the catapult of everything. Cleans up another tier 3. Gambit's starting to bleed, building damage here, left, right, and center. Interesting drag back here. I think he lost vision for that. Mimo mid stun. Gets a Sunder up, and now FN with the cheese. Still able to stay alive. Gambit has to pop another BKB. Meanwhile, Chappie just doing objective face gaming, looking for the bottom melee racks. Bounce up with a bit of evasion. Has the double stun though. Kuma and the Cheshire Cat both in a lot of trouble, especially as Viper. Crucial to bring down. He does have buyback though, but it is plenty of time to finish up the whole set of racks. FN's in the middle of that. Chakram, counter Chakram as Rubik stole it. Spending a lot of time to bring him down. They will find it. Ghost Stake might be next on the list as I want to let him go, but at what cost? Chappie finished up the mid lane mid racks as well. Mid lane mid racks, that's what I meant to say.
A little back and forth. Cheshire Cat farming.
At least getting tier 3 up top. Oh man.
Oh, this is so hard for Gambit right now. That heart on Chappie, it's just almost impossible to burst him down that quickly. Having the ability to force staff and glimmer and force staff him away and be able to have him reset is it's too hard for Gambit. But I guess they did get a concession here. They got the tier 3 tower top, and now this opened up some racks for them. Cheshire Cat is now exploiting that little bit of advantage that they have, or a little bit of, I guess, a bonus for them.
Yep. Well, not completely out of it. Still have the split potential.
Not completely out of it. There are ways. I mean, they can bring down Empire's heroes.
Yeah. They have the damage, right? I mean, okay, that is Chaos Knight. But he has plenty of help. He has a Gambit. They definitely have to board this one, but Chappie, pretty fast on his feet. He also snagged the double damage runes. Always on the fly. Glimmer Cape, TP out. They have the gem, and they have the stun. They even have to gem between these heroes.
1, 2, 3 hits.
Yeah, it's just... What do you do?
Yeah, there's not much you can do, and now that looks good. I won't be surprised if they're just all in for this push here. Does Ghostic have boots of travel? Ghostic does not have boots of travel, so he won't be able to join his team if he's just planning on straight defending. But even if he wasn't there, I wouldn't be surprised if Empire just all in G, or actually actually bought those boots of travel now.
Yeah, this is the
so they might just all in for the megas.
But okay, Kuman drag back, but no illusions, so no immediate crazy damage. But again, BKB forced out. 7 seconds, also on cooldown for another minute. kind of things can make a huge difference.
It's one BKB down. They're able to force out the second one, but it looks like they're just gonna back up and just farm the jungle.
Oh, Gambit. Smoke up here. It's actually Empire falling back a little bit. Maybe they can get
really
someone in
jumping.
retreat here, especially if FN is isolating himself from his team, but... Well, so far, they have another hunter tonight if they want to fly and get some extra flying vision.
Cheshire Cat? See, I guess he might be looking to... Oh, he is wave cutting, actually.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Albert now on Ghost Stick. It's another tool available if you can find the right Tower Blade, or even the Viper, doing a really good amount of damage here at this point. Not to be underestimated. All of this attack speed that he's got going for him.
Yep. I mean, do you see a way back for Gambit here?
I'll just need to try and hold on to the racks and try to play what they're playing right now. I mean, this is the strength of the Nature's Prophet, just constantly wave cutting and rushing 2 lanes at the same time almost. If Empire just if Empire can't catch him out, they're gonna constantly have to look behind their backs and try and account for this.
Oh, Cheshire Cat might be making some space here.
Ooh. Well,
Or he might just be giving his life away.
not sure if that's worth here. Possibly could be TP, so that'll be fine. Creeper's coming in now, it's even a double creep wave.
Yeah, Chaos Knight just found his, probably his second favorite illusion, or maybe his favorite one. Illusion rune for him.
Oh no.
These
Illusion
are
Menace
pretty
style,
tanky.
potentially 4 Phantasm illusions. Could be very bad. Always on fly, always so far ahead, and he's just always want to die as a result. Oh no, just looking at Rubik straight off the bat, so no big spell steal possibilities. Slowly but surely working away at the tier 3 tower. Chappie now popping his ultimate to make it a little bit easier, but with the stab to the latest, and now the drag back Kuman down to half health. Yeah, Ice Blast coming through as well. The effect will be on him. Daha in the middle as well. Needs to find the Sunder here as he sits on 2 different chakrams. Another Q, just keep the illusions away from him here, but tier 3 has already fallen. Chaos Knight has to maybe fall back a little bit, wait for the heart to heal him up, but at the same time, where's the punch from Gambit? Not really there. Kuman can't get too close without dying.
They cannot get into this fight.
Yeah, they have the shrine to kind of keep them alive. Another dice still double stun here. BKB from Borshka, shelling up the epicenter. Kuman actually almost at the verge of dying to magic damage. He gets the kill first though by the what cost. Empire. They still have FM. They still have Chappie. They have so much punch, and it really shows. Mass buybacks come out, trying to turn this around. Another drag back down, always on the fly. Glimmercape can stay for the time being, but yeah, the chakrams are there. FN. That's way too strong. Ultra kill. As the GG is called, and it is a 2-0 victory for Empire here, up against Gambit.
Yeah, Team Empire showing that they're the stronger team today. Really well played there from FN and Chappie. Just all around, just good play from their mid laner and their carry. After FN got that Bloodstone, he only died once.
Yep.
I mean, just racking up all those Bloodstone charges and becoming a complete nuisance for Gambit, and they're just gonna handle it. I don't know if the last pick Terrorblade was the correct choice. Maybe they thought, okay, we can kind of counter. He's gonna have a lot of illusions, so we could counter that with reflection. We can do something that kind of play, and maybe do a lot of kind of this massive push style with all of our treants and all of our illusions. But Team Empire, as I said in the beginning, they have ways to get into this fight. They have FN who can just, zip in or have a long range killing off those illusions. Ghostic can get a Blink Dagger. He didn't get a Blink Dagger, opted for a Force Staff in terms of his mobility. But Miposhka was going to have a Blink Dagger. He can get in and start those fights, counter-initiate those fights if they weren't there. And, as we saw in that mid lane fight towards the mid game, if they try to start that initiation, just the amount of damage that FN and Chappie could do is just insane. And then you combine it with the 3 other heroes, Vanthor, Ghostic, and Miposhka, they'll take down anybody else who gets caught in that combination. So I think just Team Empire had just an all-around better draft and just handled that game just superbly.
Yeah.
So well played for them.
Well, that means that they're moving on to the winners bracket finals. That'll happen later today, scheduled for 2100 Central European Summertime. And the opponent will either be Na'Vi or Double Dimension. Funnily enough, that game just went to a game 3 about 50 minutes into that. If you want to watch it, go ahead. Check on going over to Beyond the Summit 4. For us here, we'll go down to the lower bracket in the meantime.
I think that's the last game with you today that I have, though.
Yeah, as well. I was getting to that, DFB. I was getting to that. just relax. But yeah, we'll either have the loser of Na'Vi versus DD versus Vega Squadron, or Gambit versus either Effect or Spirits in the lower bracket. Whoever wins that one, I believe that game's also still going on. So I'll keep you up to date with what we're doing here. But in the meantime, DFB, as I mentioned, your last game for the day. I'll be joined by Franz going forward. So
Delta, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining. And this is the time to plug your Twitter handle and whatnot.
Well, thank you. You can follow me at Delta Fox Bravo on Twitter, and I would really appreciate it.
All right, go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, we say thank you very much for watching, and see you for the next game.